Good day, fashion friends. So I am just going to do a very simple tutorial today. I'm going to take this reversible belt that is orange on one side and white on the other and has a hinged reversible buckle. I'm going to take some denim scraps and we'll see what else we have. Maybe some lace, maybe some doilies, maybe some suede fringe. And we are just going to just freeform it and make this belt into something amazing. Stay tuned. What have you been up to lately? Well, I just got back from Nashville for work training last week, and I've been busy trying to unpack and do laundry and get some things cleaned up and straightened up and organized a little bit more. First off, I do want to make note that today is January 19th, 2026, and today is Dolly Parton's 80th birthday. I have yet to meet one person that has anything bad to say about Miss Dolly Parton because she's a national treasure. And I want to show off this amazing shirt that I purchased while in Nashville, Dolly for President. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so I took out a bunch of my denim scraps from prior projects, just to kind of use them up. And one thing that I did find was this top of a pocket that I cut from a denim jacket. There's the button behind. And I pre-prepped and just kind of like cut a little square just because I want the button. And I do want the top because I thought maybe that would be kind of cool to put on there. And if we have things hanging down, that's okay. We're gonna make it great. We do have to be careful to not have anything hanging down in this area. So anything that's hanging down is going to be around the back. Now, granted, this is meant to be a belt that you would put in your belt loops, but we are making one that will not go into your belt loops because we are going to have things hanging down, or maybe I'm going to wrap some denim around some certain areas, and it's going to be too bulky to go through belt loops. So this will be a belt that would be worn like over a shirt or just over and resting on your hips. All right, so let's get started. And I have, like I said, I have a few things picked out. So I have like, this cool waistband. I have this other part of a waistband with no button. I have denim seams that are frayed because anytime I do a project, we always save the seams because that just makes a really nice, cool look. There's another little piece that's distressed. I have a pocket, which I probably won't use. It's just the front of a pocket. I have some black denim scraps. There's another pocket. I have this kind of cool little thing. He's not going to be functional, but if I cut that and maybe attach that here and that's hanging down and we do some fringe, who knows? There's a curved seam. There's another couple little seams that came off of the back of the pocket here. So I have a lot of scraps. Oh, I also have this pair of jeans that I've been cutting up because it has this cool kind of like bleached, striped bleach effect. There's little parts that say angel. There is some parts that have like this cool, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this correctly, I believe it's called sashiko, stitching. There's like a little cross. I have some studs. I can add a little cross. We can put that on a piece of denim, hang it down. There's one that I already studded. So it just has some interesting parts to it. And I've just been cutting them up and using them for the decorative aspect from the jeans. So I'm gonna lay out some stuff and see where I want to go from here and get started. Now, everything is going to be hot glued. This is a no-sew project. I'm not going to try to sew through this thick leather belt on my machine. It's not gonna happen. Plus, with the metal on the edge, I don't wanna remove those. If they get covered up, they get covered up. I'm fine with it. But yeah, I don't want to try to stitch through metal. I don't want to pull those off. This is just going to be something fairly simple. Now, what I do recommend is if you have denim scraps that you're going to use and you want a frayed look, I would recommend just kind of like hand washing them real quick, which I have not done yet. So I'm going to see what I'm going to use first. I do have some pieces in here that might have been already fraying. Because this is not going to further fray as it's not going to be washed. So if you do want like a rough frayed look, I would recommend washing your denim. Even if you just get it wet, you don't have to wash it. Just get it wet, throw it in the dryer, get it to fray, and then go from there. But I'm going to start laying out my pieces and figuring out what I want. And once I get started with that and have some idea of what I'm doing, I will be back. Okay, so here's what I have so far. Literally just taking scraps, cutting and piecing things together. For this to fit on here, I had to cut just this little like 1.5 inch piece off. So I just stuck it underneath. I cut this tab out of the printed jeans, so that's going to hang down. Put a little piece of lace behind it. Might add some little rhinestones, and I think I have a little pink rose that I can add to that. Just some seams, a little scrap right here because I like this part of the pocket, and it's going to give like a two-tone effect. We've got a little fringe here. So this is basically all I'm doing. And of course, as I'm working, things are moving around. So I am going to go ahead and just start gluing this into place because I really like what's going on here. And I'm already like halfway through. So this will be a fun, easy project just to kind of make something unusual. Okay, I have all of this glued on in layers. Now, this I wanted to kind of distress a little bit. And the trick that I did for that, I put this on a small cutting board. So I put this strip before I glued it on onto a small cutting board, and I just took a box cutter, which is pretty much what I use for everything, and just made some slashes and then kind of went back and forth to mess it up, and then I went that way and then pulled the threads out. So that gives you a distressed look without having to like wash stuff, so that helps as well. I'm not going to do it to this one because I kind of like that clean look, and I went like clean and distressed. I'll probably go through and distress the sides of this as a finishing touch, so I'll get back to that in a little bit. So I have what I had laid out glued down so far, and I was talking to my dad on the phone, and I started gluing this down, but that's okay because we're going to glue that all back down. So now I need to start finishing up to the buttonhole, and then what I will do from, not the buttonhole, the belt loop hole, and then probably what I'll just do from here will just be like plain denim to cover the orange, and then make like the little holes and maybe like kind of poke them down and glue them to the other side. Not sure how that's going to work yet. We'll see. So now I'm just going to lay out the rest of this and see what I want to do, and then I will be back. Okay, now for this little pocket top, I had this leftover scrap piece of doily, and it was a little too long, so I just tucked it underneath of here. And then I want to put the pocket like right there, and then I'll just put another piece of denim over that. So it kind of decorates that pocket a little bit, but I think what I also want to do, I have this little scrap piece of lace, and I'm wondering if I should either put it like that, or like that, or just leave it plain and, you know, put a seam over it. That's going to be too big for sure. You just go through your just little scrappies and, oh, maybe a little piece of that. I don't know. Maybe we take this little piece of lace and make like a little flower and put that like right there. Even though it's not off-white and everything else is kind of off-white, but I don't think I have any off-white lace. I have this little piece. I think that's too small. Oh, here we go. What's this? That is not gonna, that's too big. Yep, can't use that. What if we kind of put these two together? Maybe? Make a little flower, that's a possibility. Yeah, I don't think I want to use the white lace. I'm not sure. Like I said, it's just a matter of just playing around with what you have and just making it up as you go. Maybe I'll just fray that. I think I'm just going to fray that, leave it raw. But yeah, I really like this little pocket thing I got going on here. Like I said, I'm just still kind of digging through my scraps and seeing what kind of little creative thing I can do. Or I could save that spot for like some gems or jewels or broken jewelry or something like that. So maybe that's what I'm just going to do for right now. with like a chain or something. So let's get the basics down and then we'll work on some more embellishments. Okay, so what I decided to do, because I'm not sure what I want to put here yet, because I want to be conscious of the buckle holes. So I went ahead and I started from the end. So I took a scrap piece, glued it on the front. I made it a little bit big because I wanted that to wrap around. And then I just wrapped it around and glued this down. So that way this end is going to be fairly smooth. All I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly overlap this piece, and then I'm going to take this and glue it this way, cut off a section, and then glue it back. And I'm going to leave the holes open, of course. I finished up to the holes, and full disclosure, I made a little boo-boo. And when I made the holes, and then you go to put the I don't know, this thing, whatever this part is called. When you went to put the belt buckle tongue into the hole, it pushed up the material because I didn't glue the material on the top. So what I had to do was mark where the little holes were, and I had to cut it up the center and then go back in and glue it all down. And then once I glued it all down, then I went back through and poked the holes. Don't know how well that's going to last. I don't know how else to get those to stay. I do not have grommets on hand to do grommets. Maybe I'll buy some and pop some in. So yeah, so that's just gonna be how it's gonna be for right now. So now I have figured out what I want to do for this last piece, and I had a bit of a waistband from a previous project, and I just cut it to fit. I'm gonna leave the belt loop on because I cut around the belt loop. Took my box cutter and frayed the two edges, and then I am just going to glue this last piece into place. Okay, plot twist, because isn't there always? So I finished the belt. You saw it. I went to like put it on just to see like where everything laid, and I ran into a problem. And here's the thing. I could have not disclosed this issue, just fixed it and made this video be everything was fine, everything was great, everything worked out. But that is not how I operate, nor is that the true world of upcycling or crafting or art or whatever, of making anything. So when I went to put it on, and the belt was now rounded around my waist, the corner popped off. Because whatever is covering this polyurethane that's covering over this, because it's not leather. This is, I know it's not leather. It's not marked leather. But, so yeah, so this is what happened. And if this is something that I'm going to sell, I do not want this happening to a customer. I always try to make sure that my items stay together, and this is like, look how easily this just comes apart. Like, I'm barely pulling on this and it's just coming, it's there. So I am going to get some sandpaper or a butter knife or something, and I am going to scrape off all of this on the front. Not sure what I'm going to do. That should work. So yeah, I'm just either going to scrape or sand off all of this belt stuff, and then I am going to clean off the glue and orange stuff, because I don't know even what to call it. I'm sure there's a technical word for it, but the hot glue is kind of coming off fairly easy, but I do know a trick to get hot glue to let go of something, and that is alcohol. So I will spray alcohol on this orange stuff that is stuck to the glue, and see if I can get most of it off. Shouldn't be a problem. It's just gonna take me some extra time. So yeah, I'm gonna be busy for a while and get my prep fixed. And yeah, so if you've made it this far, congratulations. You've just found the Easter egg. There's always an Easter egg hidden in my videos. And if anybody comments on it, that way I know you watched the whole video. So I will be back after I clean this up and I will let you know how long it took me. Hey, this is upcycling. Some things don't work, some things don't work out, but I learned a lesson. I learned a valuable lesson. Don't trust polyurethane. See you in a bit.
The next day.
Good morning. It is day 2 of working on this project, and this was just meant to be something simple and easy, but apparently I didn't know what I was doing. And I made a very vital mistake. So what I did last night, I put on a movie. I just sat in front of my computer, I put on a movie, I took my blade from my box cutter and just scraped all of the loose material off the top. So now what is revealed is kind of like a meshish kind of material. Then I went through and just to make sure that I got everything, I went through with a block sander. Then the thing that took me the longest was going through the denim that peeled off to get the glue and the material off of the back. I got like 99.9% of it off. There was one area only from like here to here that I couldn't get the glue off. And by that time, my hand was cramping because basically I was just sitting in like, I was almost like peeling a potato for this length. So I also did some research on finding a flexible adhesive, which I do not have on hand. So that means I must venture out into the cold tundra that is Ohio today. I think it's probably 10, 12, 14 degrees. Like, it's below freezing for sure. And I need to go get contact cement, which has a flexible bond. And what the internet recommends is it's DAP brand contact cement. Comes in different sizes. I could order it off of Amazon, but it won't be delivered today, of course. It's not something that they would keep in a same-day substation. So yeah, I have to venture out to the Home Depot or Lowe's to try to find the proper contact cement for this project. So, learning along with me.
6 hours later.
Okay, it is later in the day. I am back. I had some other errands to run. I had to grab something at the thrift store for a project. I ended up going to a local hardware store and finding the contact adhesive that I needed. So now we're going to try this again. Now, I know this stuff is pretty potent, so I am going to like put down some cardboard or something because I don't want to get this on my table. I should probably wear gloves as well. So yeah, now I am going to start over. And I am going to now re-glue all of this stuff back onto the belt. Here we go. Starting over and attempt number 2. Okay, I just took and brushed on the glue clear down to here. And it says let it dry for like 15 minutes, so I'm going to set a timer. I've never worked with this before, so I have no idea what to expect. But this is what the internet said to use. It just looks like it's soaking right in. I don't think this is gonna work. That's not even, are you kidding me? It's not even sticky. What the hell? What am I doing wrong? I don't understand. I did the thing. That's goopy. Maybe something is not right. It's just soaking in. I don't think it's supposed to do that. Maybe I'm not using enough? Let's goop some more on. Maybe it's supposed to go on thicker. All right, and I'm not gonna put it on the other side. I'm just gonna put it on one side. Because maybe if I put it on thick enough, maybe, you know what, I think that was the problem. Because that definitely looks better. All right, here we go. Okay, pray to the craft gods for me. This is gonna work. Okay, this seems to be working. All right, I'm going to just keep gluing and I will be back. All right, I have everything glued down and as goopy as I could get it. I've pushed it down and now I have to wait about 15 minutes to see if it worked. So here we go. I'll be back in about 15 to 20 minutes to check on this. So yeah, I'm just gonna clean up while I wait for this to bond.
3 days later.
So this has literally been drying for a couple days. I went through, made sure everything on the bottom was nice and secure, and I checked it. It does definitely have a more flexible hold. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if this is like anything that I should continue to pursue, or if this is just going to be a you can't do that kind of project. I just seem to be running into problem after problem, and this was supposed to be a simple, easy project. And at this point, I think I've put too many hours into it to just give up. But do I want to put more hours into it as a learning experience? I don't know. Should I just move on to the next project? I don't know. And then I have this spot in the front, which I could probably put something to cover it up. But so this is where the buckle is. And I used, I used the rubber cement to tack down this, and it's supposed to dry clear, and it dried yellow. And then there's the little bendy part, which again, it seems to be more of a flexible hold. So I don't know, there's still some issues with it. It's just that one little spot. I think I'm gonna try to fix it. Like right there. I think I'm gonna put a piece of denim in there and then glue that over top. So I don't know. It's like the perfectionist in me is like, nope, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going and fix it and make it work. Ugh. But at this point, I'm just ready to move on. Oh, sorry. But at this point, I'm just ready to move on to the next project. But I have to finish this video. And I don't want an inconclusive video. That would be a first. So I think what I'm going to do, because there has to be a lot of dry time, I'm going to fix this little corner right here where this came up and where the orange is still showing. So that way when this is in a curve, the orange doesn't show through. So at this point, what have I learned? I've learned that anything that has any kind of a faux leather, you're going to want to use a different adhesive. If it's peeling, you're going to want to take any of the peeling faux leather, the top skin, off. Glue guns do not work, or hot glue does not work. And quite possibly, in hindsight, the other thing that I'm thinking is that maybe what I should have done before I put this on was go through and cover the entire belt inside and out with denim and cement that down, because then anything else that I add would bond better because they're porous, maybe. I don't know. That's the thing that I'm thinking at this point. I don't know. I don't know what to do. There's more I want to do to this, but I'm so frustrated with it at this point. I mean, I wanted to have things like hanging down and like dress this up some more. I just don't know if it's going to be worth it at this point. I think it's just going to be more work. So at this point, I am going to fill in this little spot right here, glue this down, and I'm going to be done. I'm going to be done. I wanted to do more, but I'm going to be done because it's not worth the frustration at this point. So, project semi-fail, but I did learn. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna fix this little spot, and I'm just gonna leave it and move on to the next project. Maybe I will revisit this at a later time and add more things, but at this point, I'm over it. Sorry, not everything works, right? Thank you for watching. I hope you appreciate the honesty and the full disclosure that I give. I do get feedback from many of my followers saying that they like how my videos are real, that when things go wrong, that I show the good, the bad, and the ugly. I show the mistakes. I show the learning experience. I show when things don't work. This didn't work. It didn't work 100%. I thought this would be easy peasy, and I just got way more than I bargained for. So sometimes you just have to know when enough is enough, and with the limited time that I do have, because I work full time, that you just move on. Just got to move on. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this last little repair, and then I'm going to move on to the next project. As I said, sorry, I know I said that again. So anyway, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you would have done differently. I'm all for learning and sharing in the creative community. And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe, hype. And until next time, love, peace, and thrift. And we'll catch you on the flip side.